Is it just a coincidence that in our debut AFCON coverage that fellow debutants Comoros upset the odds and make it through the groups? We don't know, but the fact that we haven't made predictions about them has surely helped. So you're welcome, Comorians, and we hope to have even half of your success. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 2, Episode 35, AFCON coverage, Episode 4. Did I get it all right? Beautiful.
I think so.
My name is Tommaso, and I'm joined by the other voice of the pod, Mr.
Rory. Here we are, Episode 4 of our AFCON coverage. It feels good, and the tournament's waking up. I'm waking up. Everything's waking up. It feels like it's getting lively.
Guys, and in this episode, we have one of our best interviews yet, so just keep listening. Of course, we're going to review everything that has happened in the AFCON between Monday and today, but then there is also going to be this great interview. But the first thing that we're going to do is also talk a little bit about some Premier League and Coppa Italia action. But before anything, please remember to follow us at Anglo Italian Pod on Instagram, at Italian Anglo Pod on Twitter, and to give a cheeky follow to our friend and the sponsor at the Sports Club Maps. Rory, I know that the first thing we need to touch on is something that you don't want to talk about, but last night in the Premier League, a record was broken. Tottenham were the team that were able to go from losing to winning a game, the latest in a game in the history of the Premier League. How did it feel?
Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Obviously, now I'm going to try and treat this as like non-biased as I can. As a footballing moment, incredible. Like the scenes in the Tottenham away end looked genuinely incredible. Like, can you imagine being there? You're like 2-1 down. You're possibly already left the stadium. You're getting ready to leave. And then just the absolute limbs, as they say on Twitter, looked incredible. For Tottenham, that is like a hell of a turnaround. That is like a season-changing moment, right? It's a game in hand. Like I said, you're losing ground on the top four race, and all of a sudden, this player comes on, a player you were actively trying to sell, comes on, scores 2 goals within 80 seconds, and all of a sudden, you leapfrog your North London rivals with a game in hand, and all of a sudden, your season is looking a lot brighter. I think this is a moment that could kind of define or change the whole course of their season. Absolutely massive. For Leicester, what the bloody hell is Brendan Rodgers doing with Leicester this year? They are having a horrible season, and their inability to defend this year, like from a team that I feel like last season, their defense was very solid with Johnny Evans and Chanoglu. Why did you say his name? Soyuncu, even. Sorry. Soyuncu. It looked like a really solid defense, and all of a sudden, it's all over the place. Schmeichel messes up massively for the goal. Like, they're looking really dodgy this year. I know that they're switching between formations a lot, and it just seems a bit all over the place.
But it feels like Tottenham are buying into the Conte's mentality, and Harry Kane, besides the beautiful goal that he scored, he had at least 3 or 4 other opportunities to bag one, and Tottenham look like they are starting to learn the offensive mentality that Conte wants to give to Spurs. 2 words on Brentford Man U, Rory?
David De Gea. I'm going to count De Gea as one word. He kept United in that game the first half. Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, kind of bemoaned their luck in front of goal. They probably should have been 2, arguably 3-0 up in the first half. But then in the second half, United really came into it and really kind of turned it around. Elanga, a nice young player who's been getting a bit of hype from United, started on the left wing. He got his first goal for the club. I believe this is his first goal for the club. He kind of got all the headlines. Bruno Fernandes getting 2 assists. The other goals scored by Greenwood and Rashford. So all 3 scorers are Man United youth products, which might not be the worst direction for United to go for at this point. Obviously, wherever Ronaldo is, the headlines follow Ronaldo. Him and Ranić was seen shouting at him or kind of having a quiet word in his ear as Ronaldo remonstrated being taken off late on in the game. He really was not happy about that. But I think Ranić really needs to put his foot down with this and be like, look, if you're not putting in the performance we need, if you're not doing what we need, then you're not playing. I think it's Ronaldo is constantly about him, right? But I think the way Ranić dealt with it and so publicly could actually be a very good thing. So for United, all of a sudden, for both them and Spurs, it's looking a lot better. Honestly, when I first checked my phone, I was like, okay, United 0-0, Tottenham 2-1 down. Okay, Arsenal aren't playing. This isn't a bad night. Didn't check my phone for 20 minutes, looked, I was like, oh, for Christ's sake, United have won and Spurs have won. So now Tottenham are in fifth, played 19 games on 36 points, 1 point behind West Ham in fourth. Arsenal in sixth, 20 games played on 35 points, and United in seventh on 21 games played, 35 points. So it's all very close down there, but everybody's got a game in hand on everyone. It's all over the place. So hard to call at the moment. Games in hand everywhere. Our hands are full.
And let's move to Italy, where the Coppa Italia quarterfinals are set. For you listeners, they are 95% set for us at the moment of speaking. Since we're recording on a Thursday, it's going to be Juventus Sassuolo on February. All these games are going to be played on February 9th. Juventus Sassuolo, Fiorentina Atalanta, Milan Lazio, and the winner between Roma and Lecce will take on Inter, who did win last night. It took them some time. Eventually, they won 3-2 against Empoli. This game was pretty intense. Joaquin Correa got injured at the second minute already, a muscular injury, which kind of says that this player, which I really, really like personally, is very inconsistent and he's not fit at the moment. He was substituted by Alexis Sanchez, who is in great form and scored a 1-0 for Inter Milan. But then it all turned around with Bayrami's goal and an incredible header from Patrick Cutrone. Inter's backup goalkeeper, Ioni Tradu, was very, very unlucky. He dived a second too late, and then the ball just hit the crossbar, the back of his legs, and went in to make it 2-1 for Empoli. At that point, Simone Inzaghi just put all the starters that he had benched in the pitch to try and restore parity between the teams. And oh my, the guy you would not expect. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrea Ranocchia with one of the most beautiful, I want to say, what do you call it? Like half volleys that I've ever seen.
Is it a bicycle kick?
It's not really a bicycle kick because it's a side kick, but Jesus, the ball just like bounced right in front of him, and it was like, wait, I'm gonna do this. Andrea Ranocchia with a beauty of a goal to make it 2-2. It then goes to overtime, and Stefano Sensi, the man that we've been talking about in the Nerazzurri environment recently, because he's all set to leave for a loan spell at Sampdoria, just scores a beautiful goal to make it 3-2, and the Nerazzurri advance against a very good Empoli side. So these are the quarterfinals. We'll see what the result between Roma and Lecce will be. They are set to play as we are recording. You guys will know the result. Lecce, they are currently fifth in Serie B, only 5 points off the top. I think it could be a bit of a fight considering how inconsistent Mourinho's Roma is. But before we jump to the AFCON, we need to address something that happened while we were recording live on Monday night on YouTube and Twitch. Spezia won at the San Siro, but there was massive controversy because Ante Rebic was fouled at the edge of the box. The referee should have left the advantage to AC Milan. Instead, he whistled, and then Messias scored half a second later. The decision, of course, the goal wasn't even ruled out because the referee had whistled before the goal. But what happened then? AC Milan awarded a free kick. It all goes to the other side of the pitch, and Ghiazzi scores the winner for Spezia. Look, I will just tell you my opinion, Rory, then you will say yours. If it had happened to Inter Milan, I would be absolutely fucking fuming. But this said, I think it's ridiculous that the AIA, Associazione Italiana Arbitri, the Italian Refereeing Association, apparently reached out to AC Milan apologizing officially for what had happened. Then they kind of said that never happened. I want to believe that unfortunately it did happen, and I think that it's ridiculous because we see refereeing mistakes every single weekend. every team has to go through these bad decisions. I don't see why AC Milan get an apology or not. I've already heard so many people talking about Campionato falsato, which means like this is a jinx the Serie A because AC Milan had the possibility to leapfrog Inter Milan, who, however, had a game in hand. Look, I think that if AC Milan are actually Scudetto contenders, they are going to forget about this. And on Sunday night against Juventus, they're going to put in a great performance. Look, this happens. It's bad luck. I'm sorry for you guys. But to say that if Inter Milan win the Scudetto, it's because of this refereeing decision, I think that's big time bullshit.
Well, yeah, no, it is. Like, there's been a few games where Milan have slipped up, right? This isn't like they've had a perfect season. This is the first game they've lost concentration. Like, they've had a few slip ups. I feel like it does set a dangerous precedent of like refereeing bodies apologizing to teams. I don't know if that's like, I know we say we want referees to come out and talk through their mistakes and justify things, but I think that's different to like, we're really sorry that we made that decision. Like, it happened. You can justify why it happened, but apologize, and I don't really feel like great about it. Yeah, I think since like COVID and the pandemic and everyone, like last season, everyone said it was a false title because of COVID, and now I just feel like the first bit of like adversity happens against a team or like a bit of injustice and they're like, oh, false championship because it's not a completely even playing field, so it doesn't count. That. So even if you do win it, enjoy your win because it doesn't count. Like it just feels like people shout it at the first opportunity. So I don't know. And they're just worried they're not going to win it. That's all.
And it's January, boys. The last thing before we jump to the AFCON that I wanted to say is that we've already covered how much of a difficult spell Inter Milan are going to have starting February 6th. Well, right now, there is even the Coppa Italia quarterfinal, which I want to think is going to be against Roma. So it would be February 6th against AC Milan, February 9th against either Roma or Lecce, February 13th against Napoli, and February 16th against Liverpool. I guess we will see what Inter Milan are made of exactly in this moment of the season.
That's going to be a test of the squad depth for sure. But I'm going to get a really hot take from you, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
The chance
are we going to win the Champions League? Yeah.
No, probably. I was going to say the chance of Inter winning every domestic trophy this year.
Ooh, I think that Simone Inzaghi is quite experienced with the Coppa Italia, and I think that triplete tricolore, the tricolored.
A team has done it before, I imagine, right? Juventus.
Yeah, Juventus must have done it before. Okay, I want to say maybe even AC Milan have done it before.
Okay,
maybe not. I don't know, but yeah, I think we are definitely the team that is looking the best in Italy at the moment. Not in the game against Empoli, there were a few subs in, and I think we kind of went in that game with a bit of overconfidence. But yeah, I think there is a chance. Yeah. What did you expect me to say? No?
No. That is exactly the answer I was hoping for. Don't worry.
But Rory, is the blimp inflated to go across the Mediterranean all the way down to Africa?
It is, and we know she can make it, so let's go.
Let's do it. And it's getting hot up in here as we take a look at the table of the round of 16 for the very first time. Some games have already been scheduled. We are awaiting the results of Group F, but you listeners will know all about it by the time you're listening to this very episode. So the teams that are set to face off are Burkina Faso against Gabon, Senegal versus Cape Verde, and then on the other side of the table, we've got Ivory Coast versus Egypt and Morocco versus Mali. Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, they're all waiting to know who their opponent is going to be. But let's go group by group, starting from the last round of fixtures. In Group A, it took place on Monday night. Burkina Faso and Ethiopia draw 1-1, and Cape Verde and Cameroon did the same. Rory, what can you tell us about these two games?
Cameroon looking like one of the better teams. Obviously, with the top scorer of the tournament, Abubakar, they're always going to have a chance. And as the hosts, they're always going to have a chance. For them, I think they would have liked to get the kind of, 3 wins on the bounce, kind of really put your foot down, but they just weren't quite able to get there. But for Burkina Faso, it was all about just getting the job done. As we said on Monday, they qualified on goals scored. So they scraped through. So I don't think they really care about how they did it. They've just done it.
And that's all it matters. Moving on to Group B, Malawi, Senegal, 0-0. Now, this is the team that I'm supporting, Senegal, but I have to say that I'm not that impressed by the football that they've been playing. They're always looking for a cross in, for a header, but it just feels like it doesn't really work for them that way. And Koulibaly had a shocker of a game. He made 2 big mistakes, one that almost cost him arguably a red card, but it was not a red card. He wasn't even given a yellow, which I think was unfair for Malawi. And at a point in the first half, he really messed it up trying to build up play. Malawi got the ball and they almost got a goal. Before reviewing the game, I just want to say that Malawi have got the biggest shirt numbers that a football team has ever had. In the AFCON, there is no rule for how big the font of the numbers should be. And Malawi were just like, really? And large and large and large and large and large and large and large. But thank you guys, because you make it much easier for me when I'm watching the highlights without the commentary on to pinpoint who the player is. So it's actually, they look horrible, but it's very useful for the...
Maybe they got the memo that there was going to be no commentary on the CAF highlights, and they're like, you know what, we need to help these guys. Maybe they listen to the pod. Like, guys, font 72. No, bigger.
Just make it 85. Just 90. You know what? 100. Let's just go with that one. And I wanted to highlight another thing before going to the actual game, that in the stands, there were a lot of Senegalese players with actual fucking instruments and not vuvuzelas. These guys were going at it with drums, trumpets, guitars. However, they weren't enough, the instruments, to cover up the fucking annoying mosquito noise that Rory loves for some reason.
I don't love it. I just don't mind it.
It's just so annoying.
I'm not mental.
I could never play an AFCON game. Actually, there isn't that much to say about this game, besides the fact that Malawi's goalkeeper had a few very good saves. His name is Thom, Thom, especially on a Diallo shot. The ball was laid off by Koulibaly. Diallo kind of touched it with his back heel, kind of like right underneath the crossbar, and the incredible reflexes from Thom, who was able to save the good ball to keep the score on 0-0. Senegal's, always relying on long balls. I don't think they're going to go far if it wasn't for the fact that you can look at the table and they think they're in a very favorable side of the table, and they're going to take on Cape Verde next in the round of 16. The other game was Zimbabwe-Guinea, 2-1. Guinea could take an early lead through Koba in front of an open goal, but Kangwa, denied him with the tip of his foot. It was an incredible play. There was then a Muzona header. The defense did not jump, and that made it 1-0 for Zimbabwe. The cross was a pinpoint cross by Tijere, and then a beautiful, beautiful give-and-go play towards the edge of the box for Mahachi to make it 2-0. Very poor goalkeeping from the Guinean defender. And in the second half, a brilliant goal. One of the best goals in the AFCON so far. Naby Keita doesn't really know what to do. He's trying to go in the box, then kind of drops back, and then it's just like, I'm gonna go for it all the way. And he pinpointed this shot underneath the crossbar. Rory, what did you think of Liverpool's midfielder's goal?
That was an angry goal. That was like a really angry goal. You could see the frustration. He hit that and it was like, there you go. That feels better. That was like an angry goal. But for Zimbabwe, I was really happy that they got their win, right? I think every team should have their moment in a tournament, right? Every team should have a goal to celebrate. Every team should have a moment. I feel like Zimbabwe getting that win, I'm really happy it happened. They were in a tough group, and they didn't look that great in periods of the games. So I think for them to get 3 points is massive. See you again at the next tournament, hopefully.
Yeah. And Guinea are awaiting the goal that Keita scored was fundamental in the goal difference in the standings, and they are awaiting tonight's result. We're recording on a Thursday once again. They are going to take on, in the round of 16, the second ranked in Group F. Let's move on to Group C. Rory, what can you tell us about it?
It's all kicking off in Group C. All of the narrative is in Group C. And we are going to start with, you can only start in one place, and that is Comoros knocking out the third most winningest, as the Americans would say, team in AFCON history, knocking out Ghana 3-2. This is the definition of a fairy tale story. So let me give you some context. Comoros are ranked 132nd in the FIFA rankings. They have a population half the size of Milan, 800,000 people, right? They won their first competitive game in 2006. They were only allowed in FIFA in 2005. Ghana are one of the most historied teams in the AFCON. Now, we know that they have not had a great tournament, right? They were not playing well. Their coach is, I think it's Radovic is his name, right? He's really typical of what African teams are trying to stop doing. So it was kind of normal for African teams to have like kind of semi-dusted European managers that couldn't get a job in Europe. They would just come and work in Africa. And I feel like this manager is just the definition of that. He's had stints at Ghana before where he was very successful, 2008, 2010, but his football hasn't moved on. They were playing really boring, slow, predictable, defensive football, and it just was not working. We talked about in earlier episodes how they're definitely at a transition stage, and they need to push to the side some of the older players that have done well for them in the past and start bringing through these younger players. Players like Tariq Lamptey is eligible to be called up for Ghana. There's a few players out there, Salisu at Southampton, that they could be bringing in and trying to freshen up this squad a little bit, but they haven't done it. And it's left them in a really, really disappointing tournament. It's especially golden for them that their biggest rivals, Nigeria, are looking like the favourites. I think that definitely rubs it in their faces a little bit. But let's look at the game. Let's look at Comoros. Now, even in their qualification, they got some really good results. So when they were qualifying for the AFCON, they beat Togo 1-0 away. They drew 0-0 with Egypt. So we knew that this was a team that was able to put in performances, able to upset teams a little bit. And their coach, Amir Abdu, he's coaching a team in Mauritania in the top flight and Comoros. He was born in Marseille, right? So he's French by birth. And he has decided to really focus on the massive Comorian population in France. So none of the players in the squad actually play in Comoros. They all play abroad. And he's brought in this diaspora. He's brought in some young players and he's given this team an identity. Remember, this team is only 15, 16 years old. He is forming the identity of a national team. And this performance is really the hallmark moment in their history. So how did the game go? Well, within 5 minutes, Ghana managed to go 1-0 down as Comoros take the lead. And then the big turning point in this game is Andre Ayew being sent off. Now, the red card, it went to VAR, and he's going for the ball, right? He's definitely going for the ball, but he challenges the keeper. His foot slips, and he goes studs up into the goalkeeper. And it's into the goalkeeper's arm. The ball falls loose. I feel like I can see why it's a red card, but I can also see why he has every right to challenge for the ball. He has every right to go for it. It looked dangerous. It was clumsy. And at that point, obviously, Ghana are down to 10 men, already a goal down. In the second half, Comoros managed to double their lead. They're in dreamland. And this isn't through playing counter-attacking, conservative football. They are passing. They are playing some nice, beautiful football. They're dominating the game, and they go 2-0 up. Now, it looks like the game's gone. And within 10 minutes, Ghana managed to score 2 goals to make it 2-2. And you think, okay, finally, we're seeing this sleeping giant wake up and come into the tournament. But on the 85th minute, they concede again from some lazy defending. It's tapped into the net, and it is game over. Comoros win, and they go into third place. And now, with the way the fixtures have fallen today, they are going into the last 16. So this is their first ever AFCON, and they've made it through the knockout rounds. This is kind of really, It reminds you of Madagascar in the last tournament. They went all the way to the quarterfinals in their debut. And it's just a story that we can all get around. Like I said, this is a really young, exciting team. And it's almost like the polar opposite of Ghana. And I think like it was really highlighted in this game. For Ghana now, they need to like, they've already started a review into what's gone wrong in Ghanaian football and where they can go from. The manager has been sacked. And it feels like these are just two teams at the opposite ends of cycles. And for Comoros, it's just really, really exciting. They've got a really tough draw in the next round. As you said, they're going to be taking on the hosts, Cameroon. So it's going to be much harder. But I think for them, just getting through the knockout stages is like, that's more than they could have wished for. So I think it's incredible.
Something about the Indian Ocean and the first ever participation in the AFCON. Comoros are just, I was checking earlier on the map because I checked back in the day, but I kind of forgot. They're not that far from Madagascar.
No. Well, I was reading about their obviously I was reading about their politics. Really fascinating. It's made up of 3 islands. 2 of the islands have gone independent and one has decided to stay part of France. And it's like this really crazy part of the world that you don't really hear about. And it's just nice to be putting them on the map. And yeah, I really hope they keep going. It would be amazing if this fairy tale continues, but I'm not sure if it will.
Go Comoros.
So that was in Group C. Elsewhere in the group, we have the other headline, which is Gabon. Now, Gabon have had an incredible tournament, managing to get through this group with, like I said, with Morocco and Ghana. Before the tournament, I said Gabon maybe will get third. I can't really see them doing that well. But they finished second on 5 points, 1 win, 2 draws. And I kind of touched on it earlier in a previous episode, but just the amount of craziness that is going on around the Gabonese camp, right? So not only did they have Aubameyang and Lamina catching COVID, right? They had players demanding cash up front before they got on the plane to play for the tournament. That issue still hasn't been resolved. They've now had Aubameyang and Lamina have both, like Aubameyang's gone home, Lamina has retired. There's now been a story leaked that Aubameyang was sent home on health grounds, but in the newspaper it says that him, his brother, and Lamina went out. They left the hotel, came back at 5 o'clock in the morning drunk. They were fighting security staff. Like, all the stuff that's going on around this camp is absolutely insane. But despite that, the team have come through and really put in some performances. The players that have really stood out. So the first player is Alavina. I want to say his name right. He scored against Morocco. He got the first goal of the game. He's really been one of the standout players. He got the first goal. Then again, kind of goes quiet. Morocco get a penalty in the 74th minute. Then Gabon score again through an own goal. But in the 84th minute, Tommy, your favorite guy, Ashraf Hakimi, manages to get an equalizer, which means that Morocco finished.
What an equalizer, too.
What an equalizer. Absolutely beautiful goal. It means that Morocco finished first and Gabon qualify as second. Really one of the stories of the tournament, how this squad, without their stars, have put in real team performances, kind of shows, that team, there's no I in team, as people say, right? That if your big stars go missing, it doesn't mean that you can't achieve things. And go on, Gabon. And in the next round, as you said, they will be facing Burkina Faso, a game that they could definitely win.
And let's move to Group D, where Egypt and Nigeria go through. Nigeria are the only team in the AFCON to win all 3 of their group stage games, despite the absence of a certain Victor Osimhen. In this game, there was an early header from Ajayi from West Bromwich that didn't go in, and a hard volley from Guinea-Bissau's Jorginho, you heard it right, which went wide, and it was 0-0 at halftime. In the second half, after a pretty dull 45 minutes, it all kicks off in a different way, and the play for the first goal by Sadiq, it's absolutely beautiful. It's Leicester's Iheanacho who starts everything and kind of directs the entire play. Iheanacho gives the ball to Iwobi, who lays it off to Ndidi. Beautiful through ball back to Iheanacho, outside of the foot with his left, all across the penalty box, and Sadiq is right there to make it 1-0. Now, Serie A fans, you might remember our friend Sadiq because he did play for Roma. He actually grew up football-wise in Italy. He was in the He was in the youth team of Lavagnese, then Spezia, and then he moved to Roma, where he only managed to score 2 goals, however, in 6 games. Then a bunch of loan spells to Bologna, Torino, NAC Breda, Rangers, and Perugia. Then Partizan, 15 goals in 28 games, and right now he's in La Liga DOS, and he's already bagged 28 goals in 59 games across 2 years. This season alone, 19 matches in La Liga DOS, 8 goals and 6 assists. It feels like after a long career of loan spells, he's finally hitting form. And then a gorgeous solo play by my favorite AFCON player, Mr. Simon. For Nigeria. Man, that play was incredible. It gave me Saint-Maximin vibes. Yes, then he hit it from the left flank. He hit it in the penalty box super hard onto the crossbar. It hit the crossbar, and then Trostekong as a very easy tap-in to give Nigeria all the points that they needed to go through the group stage. And for what concerns Egypt, Sudan, man, Egypt put in more of a fight than usual, but the big surprise is that the one goal did not come from Mo Salah. That is the biggest of news. There were early chances for the Egyptians with Ashraf on the left, but the low cross was intercepted by goalkeeper Mohamed for Sudan. A nice header by Egypt's Mohamed from a corner kick was saved beautifully before Abdel Moneim made it 1-0 at the 35th minute with a low header from a corner kick. In the second half, everything we need to say, a long-range attempt by Sulaya. Salah tried an individual play but also failed to score. He was denied by a very informed Sudanese goalkeeper, Mohamed. Mohamed Salah laid it off, a lot of Mohameds in this game. He then laid it off for Sulaya.
It's like Kamara all over again.
Exactly. It's like Salah lays it off for Sulaya. However, it's a very easy tap-in, but the goal goes over the bar. And in the dying minutes of the game, Abdel Rahman hits a free kick for Sudan. Egypt's goalkeeper dives. He could hold on to the ball, but he doesn't. The tap-in looks like it's going to go in, but the goalkeeper saved it with the face. However, the goal wouldn't have changed anything because Egypt would have still gone through and Sudan would have still been eliminated. Let's move on to the next group, Group E, which was played today as we were recording. Rory, what can you tell us?
We started recording just as the Ivory Coast Algeria game finished, and I have to say, this game did not disappoint. Unless you're an Algeria fan, Dean Ami, I am so sorry. I do not know how bad. I did not think this tournament would go this bad for you. But Ivory Coast were absolutely rampant. And Algeria's defense at times was invisible is being polite. There was moments when there was 5 versus 2s. Like, I do not know what was going on with the Algerian performance. But Ivory Coast said from the beginning, they're my boys, and they look like one of the teams to beat this tournament. That attacking, just the flair they have up front between Gradel, Pepe, Zaha, like Sangare. They've got so many players that can just dribble, run, direct, fast. Kessié is absolutely running that team. I feel like he's really, people are going to start realizing, like people who don't watch Serie A might be watching this, going to realize just how good this player is. He looks even more terrifying with no hair and a beard as well, by the way. He looks absolutely terrifying. But Ivory Coast, unbelievable. So the first goals they had, well, mainly, I'm obviously going to talk about Pepe. I'm really disappointed that Arsenal do not have this form of Pepe. He got the third goal, but the goal scoring was opened by Franck Kessié. Again, just the pace that Ivory Coast had were just tearing Algeria to shreds. Ibrahim Sangare got the second. So at halftime, Ivory Coast were 2-0 up, and Algeria really are looking like they're out. At halftime, they bring on Slimani, try and change things up. Pepe adds a third, and then all of a sudden Algeria decide to start trying. Like, they were such passengers for most of the game, for the first hour, and then the second they're 3-0 down, they start playing, right? Algeria get a penalty, a lifeline. Mahrez takes it, strikes the post. Now, I've never seen a ball bounce so far backwards off the post. It went flying past the halfway line. I don't know how hard he hit that ball, but he missed. Algeria did manage to get a consolation in the 73rd minute. They were starting to put pressure on towards the end, but Ivory Coast just doing the normal tricks, wasting time, slowing down the game. It always looked fairly comfortable. Ultimately, just too little, too late for Algeria. And another, as we said on the previous episode, another tournament where we can notch up the reigning champions that have a massive disappointment. I feel like for Algeria now, they just need to take a look at kind of like Ghana. Okay, let's not overreact. They're not in as bad a place as Ghana are, but they do need to look at where they need to be improving the squad, where they need to maybe move old players on, bring in fresh players. I think they will just be hugely disappointed with this performance, obviously. And then elsewhere in the group, Sierra Leone, unfortunately, and especially for our guest, little spoiler, for Sierra Leone do not make it out of the group stage. They lost 1-0 to Equatorial Guinea, and they tried their hardest to really mess up this game. Towards the end, they went 1-0 down against Equatorial Guinea. They then had a penalty late on in the game. They missed the penalty, and then at that point, it was just throwing the kitchen sink, everything up front. Equatorial Guinea kept catching them on the break. Eventually, Equatorial Guinea get a penalty. They then miss that penalty, and Sierra Leone have someone sent off. The game just descends a bit into chaos. And sadly, despite Comoros' heroics early on in the group stage, Sierra Leone will be going home. And we apologize again to our guest once you find out who he is.
And Group F, all the action is unfolding right now as we speak. We will tell you the results as they are at the 55th minute. Gambia 0, Tunisia 0, Mali 2, Mauritania 0. And so far, I want to say that Mali are one of the teams that has impressed me the most. And I would have to say that I'm going to go for Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Mali as the 3 best teams that I've seen so far. What do you think, Rory?
Yeah, I think I'm going to join you with the Nigeria-Ivory Coast vibe, but I'm also going to say the team that's excited me quite a bit, and they're going a bit under the radar, if they get through the group, and it looks like they will do, is Tunisia, weirdly. I think they've scored, they're one of the teams that scored the most goals, I think, and I think that if they do get through, they could really upset some teams. So I'm going to say Tunisia for a dark horse.
All right, the dark horse, we don't even know, because as things are standing in Group F, Tunisia would have 4 points as the 3rd ranked in the group, so probably they would have a place. That's it with our AFCON review. At the end of the episode, after the interview, we are going to preview this weekend's games, which are all going to take place on Sunday. But first, I know that this is not AFCON related. A very controversial man in football is apparently fighting for his life. He's a man that we've talked about quite a lot, not the most loved in the environment. We're talking about Mino Raiola. Apparently, he's entered intensive care unit at a Milan hospital after surgery. It's not very clear what's going on to him, but the latest news that are leaking right now on the internet say that the situation is not that great. Good luck, Mino. When it's a matter of life and death, we can only say that. And that kind of makes you wonder, if he were to depart, what would happen to all those star players that he's representing? But probably we will touch on that in another episode. For now, buona fortuna, Mino. We hope
get well soon, man. Come on.
Yeah, and maybe if you recover from this, go on a little diet, because I don't know what the problem is all about, but you haven't looked in great shape for the better part of the past 10 years. Rory, do you want to say a few words to kind of like walk our listeners into the beautiful interview that they're about to listen to?
Well, I'm pretty excited about this interview, guys. I'm like, we try and get ex-players. We try and have internationals, people who've represented their country. Well, now we have someone who has captained their country. He is, or was, captain of Sierra Leone. He is the great Sheriff Suma, and please enjoy the interview. And it is time for our second guest of our AFCON specials, and this time we are delighted to interview Sheriff Suma. Born in October 1986 in Freetown, Sierra Leone, he would go on to earn 36 caps for his country, captaining them, playing for a host of clubs all across Europe, as well as now being in the United States. we firstly want to say thank you for joining us. Sheriff, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Really good. Thank you. Tommy, how are you?
I'm doing great. And the Sheriff, our podcast is known to bring bad luck to every person that we interview. We are very sorry about Sierra Leone. Minutes before we would start this interview, Sierra Leone
I know.
missed a penalty, red card. What happened in this
game?
Red
card, penalty, missing penalties and red card. I don't know.
What happened there? Did you expect a different result?
Yeah, like the first two games I was expecting like we playing defensive, like hold them back and then go on the counters. But this game today, I was telling my friend earlier that it's a 50-50 game. It's an open game for us. Like it's our time to get the 3 point. But seeing them going back to defend, it's like I was thinking, what's going on? I was still playing the same strategy, like sitting back, and now I supposedly thinking that we are going all forward, throw this ball up there to Kai. Kai is a big man with a head, and we have Kamara behind him. So that was thinking, but seeing them playing back was surprising to me.
Because until today, Sierra Leone actually played pretty well, and we were very impressed by especially one of the players, the goalkeeper, Kamara.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him there too. He's a young kid, been doing good in the league back home. I heard about him and saw some of his games back home. I say he's pretty good because I remember former goalkeeper Christian Coca was talking about him. He said he's a good goalie. He's a young kid. He's coming up. I saw him in the Nations Cup. I was like, wow, it surprised me. It's like saving penalties and coming out like Neuer for Bayern Munich in Germany, like the wall. So it's pretty good.
But he plays for East End Lions, right?
Sierra
Leone, and they're one of like the bigger teams in Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, yeah.
Do they produce a lot of good players, and are people surprised at how well he's done this tournament?
Eastern Lions, it's one of the biggest clubs in Sierra Leone, and they have lots of good players in the league. Over the years, they have lots of players that been coming out from them, and they have players who play for the national team that I play with. My best friend is from Eastern Lions too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have lots of good players there. Yeah.
Okay, and Kamara has been like, especially his performance in the first game against Algeria, really got him some headlines. And lots of people have been saying that he could get a bigger move to Europe. Do you think this is going to be an opportunity for him to get that big move and for other players in the squad?
Yes. Because playing those tournaments, it's an open door for lots of players that play home. Mm-hmm. I remember when we played when we were playing the Under-17 World Cup in Finland. I have a coach who told me, Suma, just go there, just play your game, and then come back home, and then you see what happened. And that's how I get my breakthrough. So I believe that most of these players that play home base, the home base players that play this Nations Cup, this is a very, very big opportunity for them to come out, especially the goalie.
And besides Sierra Leone, that now, unfortunately, once again, we're sorry, are out of the tournament, what do you think of this edition of the Africa Cup of Nations? Who do you think are the favorites? And have you been watching it, following? You're in the US right now. So we mentioned that the time difference maybe doesn't help.
Because this is a good time for me to watch this game because I go to coach around 3. So this is a good time for me to watch. I watch mostly all of the games. And I can say Ivory Coast is one of my favorite. And Senegal, even though they don't score a lot of goals, Sadio don't score, but they are really playing really good. Those are the 2 teams that I think they are really catch my eyes.
What about Nigeria? Do you think they can go far? They are the only team so far to have won all 3 matches in the group stage.
Yeah, Nigeria, they are good, but not like the Nigerians I used to know a long time ago now. Well, they're okay. I can say they're okay. Yeah, it's an okay team for right now. Even though they won all their games, the way Africa played today and the way they play against us, it's just that we came back. Never give up, and we came back. We equalized, but they're really playing really good soccer. Yeah.
Well, they've had some really great generations in the past, obviously, but I feel like this generation with Simon, and they don't even have Osimhen and Emmanuel Dennis, and they're still playing really well. I think they could have an opportunity. But what's been your favorite moments of the tournament so far, or what game in particular have you enjoyed the most? Maybe not Sierra, maybe a Sierra Leone game.
Even though we are out, but the Ivory Coast game was one of the best game I've seen, because I was going outside, like I was going up, I was almost turning the TV off. I said, it's done. And then all of a sudden, I just turned again. I saw goal. I said, "What's going on here?" Yeah, that was a really good game. And there's another game too. The game was it the Equatorial Guinea team too, playing against Algeria, was a very good game. Like that was I saw the striker, the guy, the TJ guy. I said,
yeah.
Danger guy. This guy's a danger man, because the way he was running down the line. I said, this guy gonna be a really hard work for us, for our defense. And they proved me wrong. Then they did good. Yeah.
So, Sheriff, we would like to go back a little bit and talk about your career as well, which has been, I mean, you've traveled the world thanks to football.
Yeah.
So from the information that we found on the internet, it says that you started playing street football, actually. So what did football mean for you when you were growing up? Also because you grew up during a very trying time for Sierra Leone. So what was it like to play football on the street, and what did football mean for you as a child?
Yeah, and again, I just want to say thanks to football again, because if not football, I will not be here today. But going back home, it was really hard at those times, And watching those big guys playing on the street, I just sit down there. One day, one of our friends said, "You want to play with us?" The big boys, I said, "No." He said, "Just come there, just stand at the back and just stand there." I said, "Okay." I just stand there. They gave me the ball. I don't know if it was luck or something. I dribbled, everybody has scored. I said, okay, that was now. It was just luck. You are small, we will not kick you. I do it again. So one of the big guys said, "Oh, no, this time no. We have to do something." But my mom never allowed me to play soccer. Like he said, "Hey, go inside and study." But I would just wait for her to go outside, and then I step back outside and then play. But soccer has been my peace. Like someplace I can go, it's a peace place for me. Someplace I can have fun. My mood changes. Playing soccer, I don't think that much about a lot of things when I'm playing soccer.
That's beautiful. So were you like instantly much better than the people around you? Like, did you become known in your neighborhood for being the guy who's good at football?
Yes. I become known. So when we play street against street, so sometimes I'm always late. Like most of the time I'm late because I have to be home. My mom is there. I have to wait. So when my friends like calling me, they don't call my name. They have a stone. They have to stone something. Like, hey, guys, let's go. Like, okay. I'll tell my mom I'm going outside to get water. I never come back.
Right.
That's when I play. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's how I know. Until I met one guy say, "You're really good. You're really good. Keep playing." And even my school, when I went to my primary school, school team. That's why I stopped to pay school fees, because of me playing very good for the school. So they said, "We're gonna pay you back without you paying school fees."
Okay.
So at that point, I'm sure your mom started.
Yeah, my mom said, "Okay, you know what?"
She started changing her mind. You know what? All those things I told you about football, actually keep playing, please.
Yeah.
So, Sheriff, then we can say that your professional footballing career didn't actually start in Sierra Leone, but it was in the Gambia. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So what happened there? Because you met one of probably the best Sierra Leonese player of all time.
Yeah, after the war, by the war we are the ones who came out from the war and went to Guinea and then in Gambia. So after losing my mom in 1999, that was, I can say, was the worst moment in my life, because I wanted her to see in the future I was growing up to play soccer. I know if she was alive today, she would have been a really proud mom. Even though she used to beat me a lot, but people like, I know. But I played there, and then I met with Mohamed Kaloni that asked me, "Do you want to play for my team back home?" In my mind, I was thinking, no, I can't go back because the war, it's always in my mind. I said, no, there's no war, it's fine now. So I told him I'd have nobody there. So if you're gonna take me back, I have to be really secure that I'm going back home, that I'd have nothing there, no family, nobody. And he said, yeah, you can stay in my house. So he gave me his word. I went back and then I played. I scored that was the second highest goal scorer in the league that time.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was really good. Yeah.
And
So,
what kind of feeling was it for you to meet Mohamed Kalon and go play? And I think this is amazing. I didn't know it, but his football team is called FC Kalon, which is amazing.
Yeah, okay. This story with FC Kalon is like this. So we started FC Kalon without even Kalon know about this team. Okay. Because we knew it's coming to Gambia all the time. So we formed the club so it can sponsor us whilst we are playing. Not knowing that we have a big goal for the Kalon name. So when he came there one time, we won the league. He gave us $200. I remember $200 was big for us. Like, okay, I didn't even know him at that time. I didn't know. So everybody was, this is Kalon. I said, who's Kalon, man? So you don't know? I said, no, I don't watch soccer. Why do I watch? I don't watch soccer. I don't have this time. So this is the biggest player in Sierra. I said, that's nice. So after the game, because they played against my team I was playing for in Gambia, so we beat them like 10-0. So it was so mad going back home, and then he asked one boy to talk to me. So I like this kid. Who is this? So talk to him for me. So they told me to come to his house. Went to his house. Said, I like you. I want you to play. Come practice with me, and then if you can play soccer, I can take you back to Sierra Leone. When he said Sierra Leone, I said, I don't know about Sierra Leone, but I'll play with you. But going back, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So he said, hey, I'm leaving today. You want to come or stay? You decide now. I'm leaving now. I don't have time to. I said, okay, let's go. Yeah, I have nothing to lose. I said, let's go.
I like that. Like, giving you an ultimatum. Like, go or stay. You choose.
Yeah, you want to stay, you choose. I'm leaving now. So you tell me.
So how, obviously, Kalon is like the biggest name in Sierra Leonean football, right? The greatest player. Tommy will be aware of him, of course, as he played for Inter.
Off mic, I really appreciated that Sheriff said Inter are good. And I remember Kalon.
Inter was good.
Yeah, I remember Kalon. He was recently, I think last year, he was at the stadium in San Siro. He was awarded, I think he entered Inter's Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
Yeah. But so how did sorry, Rory, keep going.
No, so how important a figure is he within Sierra Leone? And is he like, because if you've got a team named after him, I imagine he's like this big figure. Like, do people still look at him as like this big role model within the country?
Yes. He's one of, I can say in our generation, is one of the biggest ever that I've met and then I've played with and then I've talked to. It's an honor to play with him and to meet him at that time. He's a very nice guy. He gives good advice about soccer and everything. And he hang out. One thing I've learned from him was that changed my career too, is he can party with you guys all night. And then 4 a.m. is going to run.
Wow.
All of us were sleeping. Is like tiptoeing and then going outside. So one morning I said, let me go pee. I saw him like, I asked him, why? He said, shh. Come with me, come, let's go. Went to the beach, he was running. I was so tired, he was going back and forth. I said to myself, I want to be like this guy, man. He's so fit. In the national team, watching him play, at that time I was not playing for the national team. He's so confident, he's never get tired. So I said in the back of my head, this guy, the thing he's doing at this time in the morning while some people are sleeping, I think I can do that too. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that all the time. I started doing that like in the morning. I don't wake up 4 a.m., but 6 a.m. I will be up, running to the beach all the time. So when they came and asked us to play for the U17, I was not worried because I know I have the skills. I just need the fitness. So working at the beach at that time and playing for the under 17 was so easy for me. It was so easy.
And this was like a big moment in your career, right? The Under-17 World Cup.
Under-17 was like.
So where was that tournament based? What happened in the tournament? How did it have such a big effect on you?
Yeah, at first, because after the war, after everything started coming back, we qualified. But the qualifying was the hard part. And I played nearly all the games I played until we qualified. And they told me I cannot come to them to Switzerland because I've stayed in Gambia. So they was thinking I was Gambian.
Oh.
Yeah. So they went there, they played. Everybody in back home, they were saying, man, we miss Suma, man. You're supposed to take Suma. Well, I was not thinking about what they were saying. I was just saying, I just hope they qualify. Because I know if they qualify, I'll go with them.
Okay.
Which we did. I think we beat Nigeria. And then we lose the final to Cameroon. So when they came back, they have to take 2 players. And the coach said, Suma, I need in this team. So I joined the team again, went to Finland, played my game against Spain. I do all the assists to Sammy. And then after the minister at that time, the sport minister came down and said, hey, if you were with us back in the Nations Cup, we shall win that cup. Because the way you play, your style is so different.
Wow.
And
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, so you grew up in Sierra Leone, then there was the war, then you went to the Gambia, then there were all these things, and then all of a sudden you catch a plane and you travel all the way to Finland. So for a teenager at the time, how did it feel like to represent your home country so far away from home? I mean, even for me and Rory, Finland sounds like a pretty exotic place. I mean, just kind of up there, kind of forgotten by everybody. How did it feel for you?
At that time, playing at that time, at that age, I didn't think about anything. I was just having fun. For me, it was just fun. I don't think like this is a big moment. No, I was just think, I'm coming here to play. People back home gonna see me playing on TV. That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna see me back home. It's me on TV. Okay, thank you very much. You guys see me. Thank you. That's it. Other than that, I wasn't thinking anything. Playing against Fabregas at that time, I was not thinking or see them as a big player or something. I just having fun. That's
incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. So which players did you play against in the tournament that you thought, were there any players that you thought they're going to be great, or you saw them since and were like, oh, I played against him? Who were the big players?
Yeah, playing against Spain was the best team at that time, but I didn't know them back then at that time, playing in these big teams like Real or Barca. They have a lot of players. They have what's his name, Fabregas. They have I think I don't remember the other guy's name, but if I see them, I know them. I played against them, yeah. And I played against Frediado for the US. He was the fastest player in the tournament. So that's most of the players that I know. And then some African players too that I know, Obi Mikel and other players.
Oh, wow. Nice.
But yeah. So playing against them was nothing for me. We we're the same age group. I don't care. I'll just have fun and go home.
Nice. Yeah. And then your club career eventually takes you to Scandinavia as well, right? So first you moved to Sweden, is that correct?
Yes, Sweden. Yes, that's Sweden. Yeah.
And how did that move come around? And how big a culture shock was it coming from Africa to Scandinavia, right? How big a culture shock was that, and how did the move happen?
Well,
the temperature shock, man. It's a little colder up there than it is in Sierra Leone.
Back home, everybody was telling me, why did you come back? 17 of the players, they all ran away. They never come back home. So why? So my friends why did you come back? This was your opportunity. I said, no. My opportunity is to play soccer. Mm-hmm. It's just to play the game. I believe this game. I don't go there to run away. It was never in my mind to run away. I'm happy for these guys to run away to make their life better today, but for me, no. It's all about me playing football. That's my fun, my joy, and everything. So I lost a lot of friends at that time. Some people never talk to me anymore. Say, you are crazy, man. You're not serious. 2004, I met this guy, Chegno Musa. He was talking to me one day saying, there's a club who wants you in Sweden. But at that time, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone at that time. So the only way to meet him was to go there where he lives and talk to him. So I have to run there or every morning to jog over there and ask him what's going on. It will tell me in 2 weeks' time you will have a call or come back here in 2 weeks' time. So okay. go to the beach, practice. I have to run back there after 2 weeks. Hey, what's going on? Do you have a passport? Yes, I do have a passport. Do you have everything? Give me your passport and leave everything with him. One morning, he just came to my house. He came to my house that day. You are leaving today. I said, where? You're going to Europe. So I sat down, just sit down for some time, thinking. I'm going to a place that I don't have no family, I don't know anybody, and I don't speak even the language. But then I've been thinking things like not take everything personal in my life, like just have fun. Because I've seen my friends back then in the war died and everything. So me living my life was just living it the best as I can. So I went there in September, which was good at that time. November, December was not the best year in my life. I will ask the coach, because I played a friendly game for them. I scored 3 goals. The first half, I came inside I cannot even talk. I cannot feel anything. Sitting down there, hoping the coach will say, Suma, you're out. He took out some players. You guys can rest. I said, what's going on here? And then he said, Suma, you're going back inside. I already make up my mind. I said, no, it's 2 things. Either take me out or I go back home. So everybody went back to the field. I was still sitting down there. They will look at me like they're ready for the game. And the coach sent somebody. He said, go call Suma. And the doctor came in and said, Suma, they're waiting for us. I said, hey, doc, I don't know if you understand me, but I'm not going to play. I want to go back home. She went out laughing. She was thinking I was joking. The coach came back. He said, what did you say? I said, I want to go back to Africa, please. Tell the doctor, hey, take him home. Let him sleep. I didn't even take shower that day. I didn't take shower, no shower. I didn't take my shoes off. I just slept like that. In the morning when I feel much better, I cut them. I just cut the lace, take my shoes off and go to the shower. The coach was laughing all week long. I said, what just happened yesterday? I said, I couldn't feel my feet. I cannot sleep. How can I play? So that was the best moment for me.
That's a big cultural shock. But then in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken, you went all the way to reach the cup final, correct?
Yes. That was my first year playing with them, but the coach believed me. I think when he saw me playing the FIFA World Cup, he saw the skills that I have as well. I will help their team. But at that time, I don't have the strength, like playing this transition from Africa soccer strength and the European strength. I don't have that experience with them yet. So that was something that I grew up in the coming years playing there, to have to adapt in that kind of system. But my skills was always there, but I just need strength. So I started working out at the gym. Running wise, I can run all day, but just need some muscles, And I started eating a lot, change my diet and work out at the gym. And then we qualify for the first time playing with them, and then we play the Europa Liga. Yeah, that was something big at that time, not now. Like now, social media is more advanced. At that time, it was something big there for me. Playing in Europa, even though we lose to Grasshopper, they were really good.
It was the UEFA Cup still.
UEFA Cup, we played Grasshopper. Some other clubs, we're supposed to. We played some big teams that I remembered. That was a really good experience for me.
After Sweden, you kind of spend a bit of time around Scandinavia. There's a few clubs that you play for. What were the biggest differences in the culture of football between those countries? Did you find there was like a lot of adjustments you had to make, or did you feel once you got to European football, you kind of felt more comfortable and you could adjust?
No, I was playing around Scandinavia country was the same. The culture was almost the same, so I did not need to adjust a lot of things. But moving out of Scandinavia that was a big trial for me. Playing in Cyprus and Azerbaijan and Turkey. Turkey was the best place. Everything changed because everything just flows at that time. Like it's more fitness and more playing. My style of playing, but more fitness. So I love it there a lot. Especially the food was really nice, and the fans were great, awesome fans. You win, they love you. They lose, please don't go outside. Stay home.
Well, I really like how you moved down to like Southern Europe. You're like, okay, Cyprus, Turkey, Azerbaijan. This is a bit better. I can wear a t-shirt. It's a bit more comfortable, right? Beautiful. So, okay, Turkey's like such a fascinating country, especially football-wise. Like you said, the fans are really passionate.
Yeah.
How did you find like the atmosphere compared to like where you'd played before? Was it much more intense? Like, was it something you enjoyed, or was it a bit too much at first?
No, I enjoy because of the fans, more of the fans. You know, like I used to play back home, a lot of fans. So playing in Turkey, the fans like crazy outside. I've seen that in the bus, like, wow, this is football. This is what I call football. Coming there like they're shouting your name, you have to play. I like those kind of stuff. If I go and play, like when they have the COVID and back in in England, watching the Premier League, no fans. It's like practice. What's going on? I like somebody who watching the game. I like when people watch game, watching me playing. It makes me more motivated, especially the fans. You don't want to lose in front of your fans.
I was watching an interview the other day with a former NBA player. I don't remember his name, who played in Turkey, and he was telling a story about flares inside the basketball arena. Like, these guys are insane, and they were throwing flares onto the court, onto a basketball court. So imagine, I mean, whenever we talk about a game that is going to be played in Turkey, we're just like, we don't know how this game is going to unfold because the fans make the atmosphere so special.
Yeah, the fans make everything different, especially when they're calling your name. Like in Turkey, they have a system like they call you, if you're the best, one of the best players, they will shout your name. You come there, you give them motivation. Let's go. Like in the Turkey, I have to learn that in Turkish, which was so crazy. Like every day they laugh at me. They say, Suma, say the word. I say, I don't know. I remember. Yeah.
Beautiful. And when you played in Cyprus for, now I want to get this right, Ermis Aradipu, I think that's how you say it.
Aradipu,
right?
yes. I miss Aradipu, yeah.
You won the second division in Cyprus, is that correct? How was that season? Was it like, so obviously you got to the cup final in Sweden, but winning the second division in Cyprus, was that like one of the highlights of your career? How did it feel that season?
It feels really good because Cyprus soccer is different. It's like, it's an African soccer, yeah. You win, the president loves you, gives you anything you want. You ask for him. You say you want something, here, go do it. But if you lose, please don't come to me, don't call me, go to practice and go home. So winning the second division for that guy was a big challenge because I went to Cyprus, as I remember, to play for a first division team that they didn't even give me the time to practice with them. I practiced like 2 days with them and then that was it. I don't know the agreement I have with my manager at that time. So after that, I stopped. I canceled my contract with him. And I stayed in Cyprus for some time, practicing with other clubs. Then I met this guy who saw me and said, listen, nobody believes you right now in Cyprus. I saw you play like once, twice. I've seen you playing. I'm going to give you a chance to play in my team. Every coach, when he saw me, the coach said, no, we don't want him. He said, no, coach, give him try out and see. Mm-hmm. So they gave me one. I scored 2 goals because it's not enough. So the manager said you have to play again. The coach says he's not impressed. I said, okay. What do you want to score 5 goals? Just keep playing your game. I said we play one big team, Omonia, as I remember. I dribble everybody. I cut back and we have a PK. And I think that's when I have the contract after that. Went to the president. He said, this player I was telling you about. He said, okay, there's the contract, there's your signing on fee, that's your house key, that's your car. Sign in and go ready for practice. I said, that's it? He said, that's it. No checkup, no man. He said, we know you're fit. We know you're okay, so just go play. And then I meet some other African players there that want to play. It's a second division team. It's really hard. And then we qualified, and we won the cup. That was crazy. It was really crazy.
How many times throughout your career did you stop for a second and look back at where you started playing football and how your life had changed?
That's a good question because there was one time as I go matured in this game and in my life too, I think that was going back to Sweden. I went after playing in Turkey and everything because they have an economy problem there with my team. So I went back to Sweden. At that time, everybody knew me in Sweden. Like that was so big. So when they heard that I'm coming back to Sweden, all the teams like put in interest. They want to go come play with us. No tryout, no nothing. Just come sign. So I sit down one day. I was talking to my friend, and he told me, "Hey, remember like 2002? What you said to yourself?" I said, "Yeah, I do remember. I'll never forget that because back home when I was back home, I was sitting down one day. I said to myself, I need to make it. I need to make it in soccer. That's the only thing. Because here back home, no job. I don't see myself working for anybody back home. There's no job. There's nothing that can make me be happy. So I said to myself, I tell my friend, hey, I'm going to be the best player in this country. And they were laughing at me. I said, you talk too much. So, yeah. So when they called me first for the national team, my first call-up was like 2006, I can remember, yeah. Play with the big players at that time, Calon. And at that time, Calon have a friend called Lamin Conte. He's the biggest of all the time back home in Sierra Leone. I don't even know his name at that time. They said he's the biggest player. Said, okay, what's your name, sir? He said, you don't know me? I said, no. He said, okay, you will know me soon. So when we now coming to the stadium, I came out, nobody said anything. Some other players came out. But when he came out, like the whole stadium stand up. Like this is football. I'm like, okay. I asked somebody else, who is he? He said, just go play. You'll see.
Yeah. Damn. Man, I wish our listeners could look at me and Rory's faces right now. Rory's just like sitting on his
I'm just
hand.
listening.
Like,
I'm just listening.
Please keep telling me the story because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But about the national team, what are your best memories of representing Sierra Leone? You said before how attached you were to your roots, the fact that you came back and everybody called you a fool for going back. How did it feel to wear the Sierra Leone jersey and represent the team on the football pitch? What are your best memories?
My best memories is like playing for playing with Mohamed Kalon. You know, he can see the game before even the game starts. That's the best thing for these players. Like they already see the game, what's going to happen. So they say, Suma, you are young, you are fresh, you got injured. Pass if you can pass. If you can't pass it, do your thing. Just have fun. Like you used to play for the under 17. I said, really? I can do everything? He said, do everything you want to. But if you lose it, go get it back. I said, okay. Thank you, sir. Because I like to dribble. I would dribble everybody. I would dribble. I would say, Suma, please pass the ball now. Please. Yeah, I was young at that time, so I don't have anything to lose. So I'm playing against one of these best players. I didn't pass him the ball twice. So he called me, said, come. And I said, yeah, what is it? He said, I come twice, you didn't pass me the ball. I said, somebody's behind you. Say, hey, give me the ball and then run. Okay. I gave him the ball, make a run. I didn't saw what he did, but the crowd. So I said, what did he do? He said, you should have seen what he did, man. He turned that guy like, so what? After the game, he came to me and said, I like you. He said, even though I don't know your name, so he called me white boy. Say you're a white boy for me. Say you're a white boy. Yes, in that day we become friends. Every time I come to the game, he say, why is white boy? I want to be in his room. Because it reminds me of me when I was young. He can dribble and then play with Kalon in telling me what to do, guiding me in the game until I learn how to play in the bigger club and with big countries like Ivory Coast, Tourists and Nigeria against Kanu. Play against them. It made things easy for me at that time.
Well, I saw that in a qualifier as well, you beat a Egypt side with Mohamed Salah, right? Would you say that is like one of the best results that you achieved for your country, or what is like your best match with your country, do you think?
Honestly, playing against Egypt at that time, honestly speaking, I didn't know Mohamed Salah. He played against me, He was playing on the right side, but playing left back. I didn't even know that it was Mohamed Salah at that time. Even the other guy who plays for Arsenal, the dread guy.
El Neni.
El Neni, yes. Until a few months ago, guys sent me this picture like, hey, Suma, remember these two players? I said, who are these guys? I said, that's Salah and you dribble both of them. I said, man, I don't even know these guys, man. Well, that's the picture. You should keep that one. You should keep. So at that time, I didn't know about Salah. I know their captain at that time was a very good player in Africa. I know about him. So I think he's the only player who played for the national team at that time. So Salah, they were under 23 players that just joined the team at that time. Yeah, but my best game, I believe, was against Ivory Coast. Because after the game, and Ivory Coast and Nigeria, after the game, they asked me, they say, hey, where do you play? Solomon Kalou asked me, where do you play soccer? In England? I said, no. I wish I can play in England. I said, I played in Sweden. He said, no, that's not true. You should play in England or in France. The way you are running down this line, it's like too crazy. And when you lose the ball coming back, losing the ball is not the thing. It's when you're coming back is what dangerous. When you're coming back to recover your position. I say, yeah, I learned that too on my club back in Sweden. You lose it, go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys were big players at that time, yeah.
And your favorite goal that you've scored for the Sierra Leone national team? Yeah, off the top. Yeah, maybe it's a little hard to retrieve the information right now on the off the top of your head.
If I remember correctly, I think I scored 2 goals. I think it's against Egypt. No, against Tunisia. There was a corner from the corner to the goal. But that was not too off. It was too bad. It was it was against that was Equatorial Guinea. It was this island, Cape Verde.
Oh, okay. Cape Verde.
Cape Verde. Hold on a minute. Let me get something. My charger.
No worries. Maybe write it down, Roy. Around the 37-54. Man, I'm loving this.
No, it's really interesting. This kid, man.
Dude, and I would say... How old is the kid?
My son is 5.
He's 5?
He's 5. He wakes me up every morning. Dad, let's go play soccer.
Does he play football too?
Yeah, a lot. He said, hey, let's go out and play. I said, man, I need to sleep. I said, let's go.
Nice. Nice.
I think my favorite goal was against Cape Verde. Mm-hmm. I just came from France at that time. They were trying with Marcel, and then they said, okay, listen up. Since it came, it was so tight to see you play for the tryout in Marcel. We are coming to watch your game in Sierra Leone, to watch my game in Sierra Leone against actually. I said, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, okay, you guys can come. Came down there. Everybody knew about this guy in Marseille. So the fans were like, okay, Suma, I have a best friend. I said, Suma, don't be nervous. I said, I'm not nervous. I'm relaxed. Everybody, guys, please, can I focus on the game? Because when games start, I just laugh about things. So, why you should be like serious. I said, man, I'm not playing. I'm too fresh. Don't worry, I got this. My friend said, I believe you. I have one friend. If I say, hey, so you're gonna score today, I say, if I said no, I say no. I said today I'll score 2 goals. So I believe you. So playing the game, I was running down the line all the time, running down, making crosses and everything. We were winning like 1-0, and then we have a counter attack. I played left back at that time, so I attacked. Came to the striker and he passed me the ball. I controlled it, but the ball went up over my head. So as the ball going up, my friend in front of me was saying, Suma, lay it off. I don't know if those guys behind me had to lay back the ball back, but the ball was up at that time. I said, no, I have to do it.
Shit.
I just do it, bam.
Bicycle kick.
My back, I was lying down, they said goal. I said, goal? I was so crazy. I went up.
That's an amazing story.
Talon get up from the bench like he says, hey, nobody in the national team have never scored this goal is scored. In the league, people score, but this goal, nobody. I was like, oh my God. After the game, went to the hotel, spoke to these guys, and but I don't know what happened after. I didn't get in touch with them again. I think they find somebody else to play in that position in Marseille. Yeah.
But
that's crazy. And then
that's a crazy story, yeah.
Eventually, so after a while, you would go on to captain your country, right? So that is at that moment, that must have felt like you have fully achieved your dream, right? You've gone from like growing up in horrendous circumstances, having to leave your country, you come back, and then you captain your country. Just how amazing was that first moment when you stepped onto the pitch with the armband on? Like, how did it feel?
Yeah, it feels really special because at that time it was again a bad moment in Sierra Leone because not even Sierra Leone, in Africa, because we have is it the Corona? No, not Corona. It's the Ebola. We have Ebola in Sierra Leone, so we couldn't play any game in Sierra Leone. So it's all of our games we played outside of Sierra Leone. So, and then we play against Ivory Coast. Mr. Man, we play against Ivory Coast in Ivory Coast. So, coming out with outside on the pitch with Yaya Toure and everybody, like standing there with him was, okay, I think I got this. We got this. And then people don't even know Sierra Leone. Ivory Coast didn't know about Sierra Leone that much. Mm-hmm. The first game, it was 1-1. At that time, Ivory Coast beat Cameroon 4-0. The following week, so we came there that weekend. They said they're gonna give us 5. We said, okay, let's see. And it was 1-1. And everybody's asking, they say, who's the number 11? Who's the number 11? So come back to our hotel. I remember like the crowd. I didn't even know these people. Everybody like the number 11. The number 11. I came out. They like, can I have your picture, please? I was like, okay. I can do this. It's been when I went to my room. I was like, wow. Going outside, everyone like, that's him. That's the guy that he can play soccer. He can play football. And that's the respect I have there in Africa Coast. And I have a lot of fans there right now asking, why did you come for this Nations Cup? I said, no, I can come now. This one. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
And right now, Suma, you're in the United States. Just a few words on your job in Atlanta, the state of American football, and then I've got one final question to ask you before we let you go.
All right. Yeah, in the States, I came here to play 2. I was playing here for 2 years before I stopped playing. So when I moved there in Atlanta, I played for the Atlanta Silverbacks. It's a 3rd division team. Mm-hmm. So this guy, the director, is from Liberia. So I think he know me, but I've never met him before. But he know my name and everything. So I was here. I was looking for a place to stay at that time. So I said, since I'm here, let me go somewhere to practice. I couldn't come and just sit home and up. So one of my friends told me there's one team that practice at the stadium, one big stadium down. I said, when I practice with them, the guy saw me. So I know you. So you're the captain for Serie? I said, yes, sir. But the coach is from Brazil. He didn't know me. So I said, okay, I'm leaving, but stay with the team, and I'll call you after. Let's talk. So I was not there to like talk about anything. I just, okay, that's me. I practiced with them. And then I went home. I went back to Virginia. At that time I was in Virginia. So I think the guy was looking for me. So I came back, I moved back down here. And then I went back to the same team. And the coach was like, I was looking for you. I said, why? I said, first, I'm very sorry that I didn't speak to you the first time you came back because I didn't know your name. I didn't know you're from Brazil. Sorry. But I didn't know that you are the captain for Sierra Leone. I said, yes. Why did you tell me? I said, no. I don't go around and say, I'm the captain now. No.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm the captain.
Yeah. So listen.
Captain Sheriff. Sounds pretty intimidating.
Captain Sheriff is great.
He said, listen, you're going to sign FD to sign the contract and you're gonna be the captain. That's the order they give me. You sign in and you're the captain. I said, why? I didn't say I'm not a player or not. I said, well, FD said you're gonna play, you have to play.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I'll play. Since I live there, I'll play. So I play with them. We play some games. But the way they were playing it, football in America is not the same in Europe. Europe is really fast and quick thinking. Yeah, it's slower and then more athletic. They run a lot, but the game is too slow. So when we were practicing and sometimes playing, I say, guys, what are you doing? What is this? I say, we are playing soccer. I said, this. I don't. No, please, no. Guys, don't stop doing this. So the coach now, whenever I practice, I say, Suma, is this good? So, you are the coach, but I don't think this is good. But you are the coach. I don't want to take your job. All the time we have a game, you ask me what to do. So sometimes I tell him, hey, we have a good player. We have a good forward who can run a lot because they play all the time long balls. I don't like playing long balls. No. Play down and play on his feet. He's fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we won the league. And then I had a stroke in my brain. I was playing a game one day and won the game 4-1. So I was coming home from the game, we just parked the bus. I was going to my car. So I felt my head. I thought it was just normal headache. So I told my friend, I feel my head hurts. So well, just drink water. I said, I think 10 bottles of water right now. But whilst I was talking to him, I don't remember what happened next. I just woke up in the hospital. So the doctor said, hey, you had a stroke. I said, what? How? They say, well, that's a shock to me too. Because you are fit, you are strong, and then stroke. Why do you get this stroke? I said, I don't know. I've never had injury playing soccer. Mm. So he said, well, right now rest for some time, and then if you want to play back, you play. So I think I rested a little bit. I started playing again. And then in practice, going to practice, the same thing happened again. The same place. But that time I knew what was. I knew that. I told my friend, the same thing that happened to me last year is going to happen again. So they called ambulance that time fast. Took me to the nearest hospital and then flew me out. And the guy said, listen up. I know you love soccer, but if you want to die, keep playing.
So that prompted you to then make the final switch to become a football manager, yeah?
Yeah. Say, hey, if I know you love this game because I know you African people, you love this game. And then, but for your health and your kids and your family, you should stop. I think you should stop. You can be part of soccer, but don't play anymore.
Man, that's an incredible story. We didn't know anything about it, and we're glad you're doing okay now. So even when
it's good to see you doing well.
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah, it was tough though. It was tough. Like I was sitting home one day, I was like thinking. But my friends told me, "Hey, Suma, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? What? Be the captain for what? For America, or be what? Win World Cup?" You played everything. You've done everything. I'm your friend. If you would like to listen to my advice, don't stop, man. Let's stop. We are getting old now. Let the young boys play. Yeah, that's why I stopped playing. But giving advice to young players too back home that want to come to Europe, advice they want to do, just enjoy it. Nothing to stress about. If when it's your time. Nothing changes it. And then because I moved there, I played for the local team. So the manager said, listen up, you've done a really good job for me. I've never won this league. You won it for me one time. I'll make you a coach for the academy. So that's a big academy here called Rush. Mm-hmm. That's a very big academy. Even they have in Europe, so I've been coaching them now for 3 years now since I've moved there. Yeah, so that's I'm still in the game.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
and you crossed you've been everywhere, Africa, Europe, a bit of Asia, a little bit Azerbaijan, and then now the United States.
I don't know. Sometimes people ask me, "Do you want to travel?" I said, "To where?"
Australia. I think Australia and South America.
Let's go to Dubai. I said, I've been there. Let's go to France. I think I've been there many times. Can we go somewhere you have not been here before? Maybe the Caribbean islands on this side. Yeah, maybe that's my new trip. This island on this side.
There's definitely worse places to go than the Caribbean, I think. But, beautiful, Sheriff. That's been absolutely fascinating. Thank you for coming on. Just before we let you go, we have a few questions that we ask our guests.
All right.
So firstly, who is the best player that you ever played with?
With the best player I ever played with, it's I can say it's Mohamed Kalon.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Mohamed Kalon is one of the best players I played with. Yeah. That's
beautiful. And the best player you played against? Like someone you remember playing and being like, wow, that guy is different. Like that guy's good.
I can say it's an Ivorian. It's Boni, Wilfred Boni.
Ooh.
Okay, nice.
Nice one.
We went 50-50. My whole left side died. It died. The ball, I was so happy the ball went outside. After he asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay, man. I'm not okay." So I felt something, but you are strong too. I said, "No, you are strong." But it was really good and strong. He's a very, very fit player, and it's difficult. It's difficult to chase too. He's a very big player to chase against. Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember him being physical in the Premier League. Like he was a physical striker.
Yeah. Physical, man.
Beautiful. And who was the best coach or the best manager that you played under?
I think it's I call him Lars. He's a Swedish coach. I played against his team in Sweden, and then he coached me for the national team. Mm-hmm. He's a positive guy and a very good coach. Inside, in the pitch and outside, he's a very good coach. Yeah. Hello, Lars is a Larsen.
Perfect. And the last question, I think this is the last one. The best atmosphere that you, or the best stadium that you played in?
The best stadium.
Then we'll let you go before your kid destroys the house.
I know, right? It's like, why? Come on, guys. My dad. Yeah, I think it's against Egypt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they have like 80,000 fans, more than 80,000 fans. Like the field is nice atmosphere. It's cool, nice. So it's really nice to play in there.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Sheriff. We're gonna let you go.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys having me in your thing.
It's been truly a pleasure. And if you talk to Mohamed Kalon, tell him Forza Inter from me.
I will tell that. I'll do that. And I wouldn't know who I will talk to for Arsenal. My friend here is an Arsenal fan. I have to console him every time, man. It will come one day.
Eventually.
Yeah,
patient. We have to be patient.
I know. All right, guys. Thank you very much for having me, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Suma. Bye.
Bye. Yes.
Man, that was quite the interview. The background noise made it all the funnier, and in the end, we got to actually talk to Sheriff's son, and it was great. He's a very nice kid. But man, besides the background noise, what a great interview! What an awesome interview!
Genuinely fascinating. There was moments where, like you said, we were both just sat there in complete silence, just listening to his stories, like genuinely inspiring, like coming from that situation, in Sierra Leone and going through what he's been through. Just a really beautiful story. Really genuinely honored to have him on the show. Like, wow.
Yeah, a story that before researching for these guests, I didn't really know, but 12 years of civil war in Sierra Leone. Imagine growing up there, the football is your only friend and you kind of escape from all that reality. And even the fact that then he came back and his friends were just like, man, you're a fool. And he's like, right, then I'll just go and chase my dream of becoming a pro footballer. Beautiful interview. Thank you again, Sheriff Suma. We are here at the end of our episode, and we've got to review basically what's going to happen this weekend in Serie and the Premier League. Rory, do you want to start?
Let's do the Premier League first. It all kicks off tonight, as you are listening, with a massive bottom of the table clash as Watford host Norwich. This is going to be huge, right? Norwich after beating Everton, Watford after rescuing a point against Newcastle. Can they continue the form and give themselves a bit of a shout at survival? This is going to be a really interesting game. Then on Saturday, the early kickoff, Everton fresh after sacking Rafael Benitez.
Woo.
They're going to have Duncan Ferguson in charge. Big Dunk, terrifying. Is he going to get a reaction out of the players? Last time he was in charge of Everton, they actually had quite a kind of upturn in form, started playing some nice football. He is a proper Everton man, and I feel like he's going to get a bit of that laziness and complacency out of the players. I think we could see a bounce here. For Aston Villa, they're in really good form. They've got making great signings. I think this could be a really good game. I'm gonna say Everton get at least a point here. I think we're gonna see a new manager bounce type of thing. Then the 3:00 kickoffs, we have Brentford taking on Wolves. Brentford got battered by Liverpool 3-0, and then lost to United 3-0 despite dominating the first half. They couldn't get the result. Wolves, we've talked about, really good start, a really good season so far. Can they continue it? We also have Leeds taking on Newcastle and Manchester United taking on West Ham United. 2 games there that are definitely going to be worth watching. Also, then the late kick-off on Saturday is Southampton taking on Manchester City. Man City basically won the league at this point now. We've kind of decided that the title race is done, but Southampton have upset them a few times in the past, I seem to remember. So maybe we'll see some complacency from City, but I wouldn't bet on it. Then on Sunday, if Arsenal fancy it, if we fancy having a kickabout, we have got one scheduled at 2:00 in the UK. We will be taking on Burnley at home. Burnley have had their last 6 games postponed, I think it is now. So neither of these teams want to play football, but hopefully they will play on Sunday. That at the same time, we have Crystal Palace taking on Liverpool and Leicester taking on Brighton. Now, Leicester with that disastrous end to their last game against Tottenham, endeavoring to lose a game with 80 seconds left, really is quite impressive. They'll want to turn the form around, but Brighton actually getting some decent form, still not losing, but getting a lot of draws. Can they pick up 3 points? And then the last game on Sunday, arguably the game of the weekend, it will be Chelsea taking on Spurs. Spurs, the way they've won that game is going to be such a big boost for those players. I think we could see a reaction here. Chelsea, things aren't looking quite as rosy. I think this could be a bit of an upset, unfortunately. I'm really hoping Chelsea do something for us there.
Interesting. Did you cover also Manchester United, or did I?
Oh, sorry. And then, it's all over the place.
That was on Saturday. Yeah, Manchester United, West Ham. That's also a pretty big one, right? What do you?
That is a big game. Manchester United still unbeaten under Rangnick. The Brentford performance wasn't the greatest. Like I said, first half they really should have been a couple of goals down, but David De Gea kept them in it. West Ham kind of struggling a little bit, but both these teams looking for top 4. So I think this is going to be an intense game. I'm going to say Man United get something here. I feel like they might just be turning the corner.
And then we've also got Leeds Newcastle. What do you say about this one, Roy?
Leeds Newcastle. Leeds in good form, straight off the beat in West Ham. Newcastle need to get some points. I just don't think they're going to get any. They're getting linked with every player in the world, but they're not getting any points. So I think Leeds should get something there.
And in Serie A, it all kicks off tonight at 8:45 p.m. Central European Time with Verona-Bologna. Verona are in 10th position. Bologna are on 13th position, only 3 points behind the Giallo-Blu. Verona have never won back-to-back games this season. Could this be their first time? Maybe, because Bologna have lost 5 of their last 6, including 1 versus Cagliari, and we all know what that means. Then we've got on Sunday at 3 p.m., always Central European Time, we've got the Genoa taking on Udinese, both teams coming from 3 consecutive losses, and both teams have recently conceded as many as 6 goals in a single game. Then we've got Inter Venezia, or maybe, no, we don't, because Venezia have 14 players positive to COVID, and according to the current rules in Serie A, any team that has at least 10 players with COVID can formally ask to have the game postponed. So it's looking like that would be the case this time around as well. And then we've got a game which is more of a goal fest than a game. Lazio-Atalanta. The Biancocelesti in 8th position take on Gasperini's Nerazzurri. In their last 6 matchups, there have been 29 goals, and both teams have always scored. So an average of 4.83 goals per game. If you're a betting man, I would put some money on both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals, to say the least, also because both teams really want to win this game. Then we move on to Sunday, where there is Cagliari-Fiorentina. Cagliari-Fiorentina. Fiorentina have scored 11 goals in their last 2 games across all competitions, meaning Coppa Italia and Serie A, 11 goals in 2 games. Let that sink in. It really feels like Italiano on the sideline has found the right system. Also, if you didn't watch Biraghi's 2 free kicks in their game against Genoa, they were absolute diamonds. And Cagliari, here, they've won 3 games in total this season, and 2 of these wins have come the month of January of 2022. So maybe something is turning around. We've got Napoli-Salernitana at 3 p.m., the Campania derby, Napoli versus Salerno. Osimhen is back, and we're probably going to see him from the very beginning. And Mertens said that the more he scores, the harder it will be for Aurelio De Laurentiis not to renew his contract.
Yeah.
And now that Salernitana have got Sabatini as a sporting director, there are rumors that they are after a certain Diego Costa
Oh my God.
and lift themselves from misery. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't see that happening. Then we've got the Spezia-Sampdoria, a little Ligure derby. Sampdoria's last win in Serie A came in the derby against Genoa on December 10th. Maybe this other derby will be their opportunity to make something out of the game. And the Spezia, can they make it 3 consecutive wins after they won last minute against AC Milan in fashion at the San Siro? Then 3 p.m. Torino-Sassuolo, and then at 6 p.m. Empoli-Roma. But the big one is going to be AC Milan-Juventus on Sunday night at 8:45 Central European Time. And about the AFCON, ladies and gentlemen, we can take a big breath, because on Friday, there are no fixtures scheduled. On Saturday, there are no fixtures scheduled. It all kicks off the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations on Sunday. The first game is going to be Burkina Faso, Gabon at 5 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., Nigeria are going to take on a team that we don't know what team it is yet, but it's going to be the 3rd place team in either Group B, E, or F. Is that correct, Rory?
That is exactly. So you will know who they're going to face. We just haven't figured it out yet. The games are still playing. So Nigeria will play another football team.
African football team.
Another African football team. Good.
This is as much as we can tell you. Of course, please follow us on all social media, on Instagram at Anglo Italian Pod and on Twitter at Italian Anglopod. Rory, anything else to add before I send our listeners off with our customary quote?
Just simply do not forget to check out at Sports Club Maps, our official sponsors. Always have deals going on, always have re-releases, new releases. Just go check them out. If you want to buy a gift for anyone, for yourself, just treat yourself. Get one at Sports Club Maps.
Don't forget. And since we were talking about Sierra Leone, and you know that this guy speaking is a big-time Inter Milan fan, we decided to this time around to send you off with a quote from Mohamed Kallon. And the quote goes, "No matter what, every time you step into the Stadio San Siro, you must feel that emotion." We'll talk to you on Monday night, live on Twitch and YouTube. Have a good weekend.